Oh my God, family, I cannot believe this. This whole time I was talking and you guys couldn't hear me. my sincere apologies. I sincerely apologize. So let me start all over again. All right. What I'm basically saying, family. And you know what? I'm glad you guys didn't catch any of that. That's good. Because you look, everybody left. Instead of letting me know, instead of letting a brother know, y'all just left. Damn. That's the kind of love I get. Wow. Ruthless people, bro. But let's go, man. Y'all either believe or you don't. I don't give a damn. Anyways, let's go.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land. In the time of Hoshea the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. So came they into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into further country, where never mankind dwelt. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely 1.5 years. And the same region is called Asaroth. Asaroth, Newfound Land.
Okay, fam. So for the sake of time, I'm not gonna get too much into it regarding these pictures, okay? But if you guys follow my channel, or our channel, I should say that, you should know that these have been I have shown y'all the origins of them and the purpose behind them, okay? So for the sake of time, y'all can watch those classes. If you want to know when, just post it on this the class. And then obviously I'll follow up. Keep in mind, family, I'm gonna focus on the class, so I may not be paying attention to chatter as much as before. Okay, I appreciate you, brother, for watching though. Malak, mad love for you, bro. or anybody else that's watching. But from this point forward, I'm just going to be focusing on class. All right. So, all right. So we got an understanding of these guys, these fellows right here, saying that the 10 tribes were actually black people, just straight like black. Okay, that's their point. But that's not my argument. I'm not here to argue or debunk anybody. I'm just here to show you what what has been revealed to me from the Spirit, from studying, from research. And you guys make up your mind. I'm just gonna be neutral. Okay. Today, I will definitely be neutral because honestly, so much is going on right now, family. Ain't nobody gonna really believe. There's only 144. The Most High is not dealing with everybody right now. And the 1/3, I even think, man, maybe few men, mostly women and children. The 2/3 are mostly men. Y'all are hard-headed, man. Y'all don't get it. You know, I feel sorry for you guys, honestly, because the Most High is dealing with men. And all these men are acting not like men. Oh, anyhow, so let's begin. Let's go first of all to Second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me show you this instead. Let me get my point. Let me get my point across. So we're gonna eventually look at Shem, Abraham, and Arphaxad. Okay, this is from the Josephus, the works of Josephus, Antiquities of Josephus. Okay, this is I believe number 4, and I think chapter 4, verse number 4, something like that. Regarding Shem, it says Shem, the third son of Noah, had 5 sons who inhabited the land that began at Euphrates and reached to the Indian Ocean. Okay, so now let's consider what we are talking about here. Let's be mindful and let's be thorough. All right, listen, fam. In this channel, we basically tell facts. Here, you see that right there? I'm gonna show you. Here, go right here. Facts tell, stories sell. We don't tell stories here. We show facts. Okay? So now it's showing here a map. So I'm going to give you guys a map. Hold on a second here. So it says that it is from Euphrates and reached to the Indian Ocean. For Elam left behind him the Elamite, the ancestors of the Persians. Asher lived in city Nineveh and named his subjects Assyrians, who became the most fortunate nation and beyond others. Arphaxad named the Arphaxadites, who are now called Chaldeans. Remember that name. Aram had the Amorites, which the Greeks called Syrians. Now, Aram is, well, I would say this. Matter of fact, I'll show you. I'll show you guys what Aram means. Maybe I will. But Dam Aram basically just means region of Aramea, where the Aramaic language seems to be originated from. Okay, this is all findings that you guys can find on your own. I am not a linguistic man. I'm just going by what I found so far. All right, now here it goes. Here it's from Euphrates, reached the Indian Ocean. Here's the Euphrates, and here's the Indian Ocean. Okay, Indian Ocean. Look, Indian Sea. India Sea, something like that. No, it's, I don't know what it sounds like. It's DNA C. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you that it looks like something like this. So here, the Indian Ocean. So Shem covered from this section here to this section here. Now, if you guys do not subscribe to this guy, then you don't subscribe to a lot of things. Neither will you subscribe to Manethos, which I know some of y'all want to use and claim that, oh, yes, the Hyksos and all that. Listen, Josephus debunked Manethos, family. I read the book. I got it. The Apion something. It's a real thin one. So you guys are going to throw this man out the door, but you're going to selectively say, oh, well, this word and this doesn't. You can't do that. We read what we read, and we read what we read. Now, part 2, or page 32, the Laudites, which are now called Lydians, or of the 4 sons of Aram. Uz founded Trachonitis, my apologies if I pronounce it wrong, in Damascus. This country lies between Palestine and Cilicia. Ul or founded Ui or Ul founded Armenia and gathered the Bactrians, and Messa the Mycenaeans is now called the Carax Spazini. Salah was the son of Arphasad, and his son was Eber. You're gonna hear this later on. Eber, Kiber, Kibara, Kibora. Okay, just throwing it out there. I'm gonna do a class on that later on. Not now. You guys are gonna see it at the end. Eber begat Joktan and Peleg, or Phaleg. He was called Phaleg because he was born at the dispersion of the nations to their several countries. For Phaleg among the Hebrews signifies division. Now Joktan, one of the sons of Eber, had these sons: Elmadad, Saleph, Arsamoth, Jerah or Daram, Aziel, Dekla, Ebal, Ibamiel, Sabius, Ophir, which some of people, I don't want to say that. Keep them on shut. Eulat and Jobab. These inhabited from Kofin and Indian River, and in parts of Asia adjoining to it. And this shall suffice concerning the sons of Shem. So again, family, do not be disturbed, nor be confounded. It's talking about this territory here. Okay? That's Josephus saying it. So we're trying to find out who Shem is, right? All right. So now let's look at 2nd Ezra. Watch this real quick. Sorry about the background noise, fam. 2nd Ezra, chapter 3. It talks about the dispersion, right? The dispersion. Watch this. 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 10. Remember, follow me, fam. This is how I go about doing my classes originally. Before I was not before. I went through a period where I was kind of winging it. And it just really was out of order, fam. And I don't roll that way. I like to do things decently and in order, the best that I can, especially when it's a work of the Lord. So I failed y'all, and I apologize. So I'm going back to my roots. 2nd Ezra 3:10. And it came to pass that every of them, as death was unto Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them thou left it, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, meaning that they were keeping the laws. Watch this. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply after these 3 men, and had gotten them many children, they were a great people. They began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, and promised him that thou wouldst never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude. So we now know that after Shem, Japheth, and Ham, everybody bugged out here. Everybody. And yet, out of all the people, the Most High called Abraham. Why? You guys realize that, that is almost as us. Out of all the nations, he called us. We're a manifestation of Abraham. Abraham wasn't raised with the laws. His father was idolater, I'm sorry. We weren't raised with the laws. Our parents were idolaters. We are coming in with faith. So is Abraham. Abraham applied the works. So are we. It's a deep, deep understanding, but it's very basic, fam. Hey, by the way, y'all that think it's deep, just don't watch my channel, man. I mean, just don't. Because this is not nothing. This is For me, I'm sorry. This is the way I think, and it is what it is. Y'all accept me for who I am, or you don't. You want to go judge me and say, this, whatever, man. I don't care. It don't matter to me. I wish I could, because the reason I'm saying this, fam, is because they got some criticism on this channel now, man. It's like, come on, man. I'm 125 people just watching this little measly channel. Y'all want to make videos about this channel? Oh, new brooms, maybe hear energy, but old brooms know the corners. Shut up. You're not. Look, listen, I'm going to tell y'all. You One West camps, you're not my elders, okay? You're not my elders. Get that straight. I have shown that there is several people that are not our people. So I don't know why. Don't concern yourselves with this channel. This channel is not for everybody. I'm not a piece of gold that's going to be loved by everybody else, fam. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wish I could really lean on somebody that knows, that's older than me, that has understanding, where I can bounce ideas from, fam. I really wish for that. I pray for the Most High to provide that for me. But until then, I'm going to continue in this faith and be in the Bible, researching as best as I can and keeping my foundation, which is the milk, the best that I can. And because of this, it's led me to this. Isaiah 51, verse 1. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Abraham was called from many, many people. Shem had many, many, many sons, fam. Says right here, look unto your father, the rock which he cut out of, and the hole of the pit where ye are digged. We are just like him. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. Now, listen, why are some schools doing this? Daughters of Sarah and sons of Jacob. Did Sarah marry Jacob? Did Jacob have sex with Sarah? Why is this being said? There's a reason behind it, family. And at the end of this class, Lord willing, I remember, and we'll touch on it. And unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. For the Lord shall comfort Zion, he will comfort all her waste places. Why? Because of him, which is why it says, look unto Abraham. So when we look unto our father, that's why Job, matter of fact, Joshua 1:8, it says this real quick. It says, this is the book, this is milk, family. This is the book of the law. I'm sorry, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So we're supposed to be in this Bible day and night, right? And doing what? I didn't lose my point. Stay with me, family. Walk. Job 8:8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers. Fathers. Who's one of our fathers? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's our fathers. Okay? So now, let's find out about Abraham. About to get some water real quick. Give me a second. Let me see. Abraham. All right. Oh, sorry. Look for it, fam. As a matter of fact, I'll just do it here. Got a lot to show y'all. Abraham. Our facade. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Oh, this is the book I'm talking about. The Apocrypha. The New Oxford Annotated Apocrypha. I would recommend to get it, family. It gets kind of detailed. You know what I'm saying? It gives you breakdowns on scriptures, and it actually goes into particulars, and it even provides you maybe precepts. You got to confirm the precepts, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very informative book. Anyhow, let's see. We're gonna read that book too. Lots of material, fam. Here goes Abraham. This is from the Who's Who in the Bible. It says here, Heb, or Hebrew maybe. Father is exalted. Centuries BC, first patriarch. Abraham was the founder of the Hebrew nation. In Jewish, Christian, and Muslim tradition, he emerges as a father figure, dignified, firm in his faith, humane, respected by the local rulers wherever he went. He moved slowly and majestically across the Near Eastern world of the nearly 4,000. Let's see, I had it. Hold on. Where's the other missing part? Mhm. No, that's Shem. That's it? Nah, no way. I had that. Mm-mm. Oh, excuse me. Hmm. I thought I had more on Abraham. Why did not I hit more on Abraham? I'm gonna show you that. Hmm. That's why. It says for 4,000 years ago, from Mesopotamia to Egypt. The setting for this story is the central hill country in the land of Canaan, promised to him and to his seed by God. Abram, as he was first called, came originally from Ur of the Chaldeans, Genesis 11:28, a Sumerian city in the Euphrates Valley, near the head of the Persian Gulf. Okay? So at the tip of it, with his father Terah, his wife Sarai, later Sarah, and his nephew Lot. He moved up the river till they came to rest in Haran, a trading center in northern Aram, as Syria was then called. The family settled in that area, and here Terah died. At Haram, the Lord appeared to Abram and told him to leave for the land that I will show you, where he would make Abram a great nation. Genesis 12:2. You guys can read that. Let me see if I need to get to the point here. Second. Remember, this is the who's who in the Bible, okay, fam? Then destroy the wicked Sodom and Gomorrah. Yep. I think that's all we got to see there. All right. So now we got Abram. Now, Arphaxad. Now we're going to get Arphaxad. You got to look up these names. Arphaxad is the third son of Noah, the first birth recorded after the flood. He lived 438 years and was the ancestor of Hebrews and of many Arab tribes. In fact, all of the Semites except Assyrians, Elamites, Lydians, and Syrians. Genesis 10, 22, 23, 11, and 13. Also, possibly a region of Assyria. Okay. Let's talk a second here, real quick. All right. Let's see. Here it goes. Is that it? Give me a second, fam. I got a kid that's crying over here. I don't know if you guys can hear the background. And I mean, you just don't ever like teach them the Bible or nothing. If you have not gotten your house in order, then you're breaking the commandments of order. Because this is what we're supposed to do. Teach our children, our family. So the first 3 years, technically, like the tree, like Leviticus 19:23, the first 3 years, it's like the tree. It's rigorous work. It's examination. It's breaking them clods. It's change. It's like turning that dirt around, man. Getting rid of that clay, those philosophies, all that gripe, bitter anger, all of that crap y'all deal with, man. Those first 3 years, you're supposed to deal with it within your own self. And if you have a family, within you and your family, because it was you that corrupted the family. So it's you that has to uncorrupt the family. You don't run away from them because they don't listen to you. Like some of these schools teach you. After a year and a half, you can leave her. And don't pay the bills. I'm sorry, but that's the fact. They don't do it. You want me to lie to you? Oh, that's right. I forgot. I almost forgot, fam. No wonder, man. I could hear my breathing. Anyhow, this is just a side point, okay? I want you guys to be mindful. All right. So now, let's go to something real quick here. Let me show you. Give you guys a little bit of milk, a little foundation, a little bit of a milk. All right. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 17. All right. Write this down, fam. Color it. It says, "But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the city of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them." Okay. So remember this. Rehoboam reigned over us. All right. 2 Chronicles 30, chapter 30. Watch this real quick. This is milk, fam. This is milk. This is just showing us that some of us did stay behind. All right. Some of us stayed behind. 2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 11. It says, "Nevertheless, divers of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem after Ezra had freed us. And also in Judah, the hand of God was to give them one heart to do the commandments of the king and of the princes, and by the word of the Lord." Look, you could even see it in the New Testament too. Again, this is all milk, fam. All milk. Watch this real quick. Luke 2:36. "And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with a husband 7 years from her virginity." So several of us did stay back. It wasn't only, you know what I mean, just like all of us. And I'm gonna tell you something, fam. Right now, we're being called not our people. We're not Israel. Everybody else is Israel except us. Everybody. And it's prophesied that it will happen. Hosea 1:10. Look, milk again, fam. Write them down. "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place," right here, "where it was said to them, Ye are not my people. You guys are not Hebrews. Y'all are not Israelites." And you know something? Some of you guys really believe that. I know you say you don't, but you do. Because if you didn't believe it, you would come together as a nation. But you guys are so destroyed that you doubt yourself so much that you're not willing to take that freaking dive and say, "The hell with it, man. What do you got to lose, family? Y'all want to still be Mexicans? Puerto Ricans? Cubans? What did we get out of that? Y'all are Hebrews, fam. What the hell are you afraid of? For once in your life, freaking life, fam, grab that heritage that belongs to you. We're told, "Ye are not my people." But here, it shall be said unto them, to us, "Ye are the sons of the living God." It'll be said unto us here, and we're proving it now. The Bible was kept from us for more than 500 years. In case some of y'all don't know this, we haven't had the Bible for more than 500 years. If you guys don't believe me, look up the Lutheran Witness. I have documentation on it. For the sake of time, I don't want to read it, but I've proven it in many classes. up only until 1831 through 1833 were actual Bibles being printed. And they were about almost $300 in that time. And there were 25 volumes, like the encyclopedia. I don't think any paisa like us could afford that if we're in slavery. So again, yet the number of the children of Israel, you Hispanics, you Native Indians, you brothers here from this continent, the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. Are we not? Which cannot be measured nor numbered. We're the majority, fam. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, you're not my people. There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. That's milk, fam. It's happening now, whether people like it or not. I know that some of y'all lose hope. Don't. This is the best time to be in. Listen, family, if you guys ever grew up by the beach, I kind of thought about that. And I took a drive down, you know what I mean, trying to get my car going and everything. And you know, when you go out there and paddle, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a surfer or bodyboarder or nothing for that matter, right? But I swim, you know what I mean? I could swim. I could lap, man. I could do laps. Like, 1,000 meters. Well, not now, but there was a time where I could do it about nonstop. I was a boxer, man. I had to learn how to do all these things. Anyhow, man, what was my point? I lost my point, fam. Maybe it'll come back to me, man. I'm getting old. It must have not been important. Anyhow, let me read this. Maybe I'll remember. Romans 9:25. As he said in Hosea, like in Hosea 1:10, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and their beloved, which were not my beloved. And it shall come to pass. Remember this, fam. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Now watch this, family. Watch this. Isaiah also cried concerning Israel. I had a conversation with a brother, a little short. Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So if you guys don't believe, oh well. Romans 3:3, it says, for what if some did not believe? This is not milk, but classified like an orange label. If you got a marker, a gel, by the way, use the gel marker. Don't use the wet marker. Use the gel highlighter. And highlight this one in orange, fam. Remember, milk, put them in green. Things a little bit above milk, put them in orange. Things that have to do with examination, color them in blue. It's water. This is me how I use it. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Let God be true, but every man a liar. So I don't care. It don't matter to me if y'all don't believe anymore. There's a remnant. And that's who we're talking to. You see, most of y'all that don't want to come together and don't want to build, that's how it's supposed to be. You guys are the 2/3. You're basically not in the way. You're doing your part. You are the tares. You're not the wheat. Sorry to tell you this, but there's just too much now and so many reasons not to have zeal for the Lord. And you guys are all stale. You're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You say you're a Hebrew, but you're afraid to be one. Those are facts. This is why in this channel, Bible Chronicles, facts tell, stories sell, fam. Give you milk more again, and then we're going to move. Matter of fact, you know what? Nah, let's just go with this real quick, and then I can move on to the class. Right? Check this out. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. And I know this for a fact. And we got to find each other, family. Okay? because a lot of us have been bombarded with Christianity and one West indoctrination that completely has destroyed all of us. It's meant to be this way. Jeremiah 50:33. Thus say the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Why do you think we can't come together? It is meant to be this way, unfortunately. You so-called Hispanics are really showing some of us that a lot of you guys are not our people, probably. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, fam. It's just facts, man. If it hurts you, oh well, man. If the shoe fits, I hope it fits you. If you get so mad that you want to unsubscribe, please hurry up. Sirach 125, the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. And what is wisdom? Milk. Message. Once more. Psalms 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. That's wisdom, fam. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is from a book called Geography Rectified, a description of the world in all its kingdoms, providence, countries. You guys can continue to read that. Robert Morden, 1703. Publication date, 1693. Archive.org. I'm just trying to prove a point here real quick. It says here. It says, according to the page 5, according to the greater integrating parts thereof, the ancients divided the whole earth into 3 parts: Europe, Asia, and Africa, to which now is added a 4th part, America. Excuse me? Yeah, hold on. So as you can see, America wasn't discovered before. Okay? They're again divided into providence, countries, kingdoms, and in each of these are again subdivided in earldoms, baronies, and lordships. Okay? So again, the 4th part now. Some of y'all don't believe. You guys don't believe. Well, Revelation 5, watch what it says. It says, and when he had taken the book, the 4th beast and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps. Oh, is that it? No, what am I doing? It's 6. Come on. Revelation 6:8. It says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power, meaning this kingdom, this beast of nations. I don't even want to say it's so-called white man anymore, man, because it's a combination of nations. And the power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth after 1492, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. Watch this. To kill with the sword, war, pestilence, right? And then death here. All kinds of illnesses that we're not familiar with. And with the beast of the earth. Didn't we get COVID? Didn't they say COVID came from like some bat? I'm just saying, I don't know if it's true. Oh, by the way, hold up. Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law. Okay, fam, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I included it in there because I almost forgot. Let's go to Amos 7:11. That says, "For thus Amos saith, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel shall surely be led away captive out of their own land." So we understand now that's the point of this class, right? So now let's start seeing what's going on here. So we got an understanding of Abraham, Shem, Alpharsad, all these guys. Just a little definition. No biggie. No biggie. Deuteronomy 28:29, and it reads, "And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day." Who? Israel. Israel. We would be taken out, fam, because of the curses, no? We fell off. Solomon, the kingdom split, Assyria came, took us away. Started like that. Amos 6:7. "Therefore now they shall go captive with the first that go captive." We were the first ones to go captive, fam. No, the kingdom went in captivity first. "And the banquet of them shall stretch themselves." And the banquet of them that stretched themselves shall be removed. "And the Lord God hath sworn by himself, saith the Lord God of hosts, Lord, the God of hosts, I abhor the excellency of Jacob, and hate his places. Therefore I will deliver up the city with all that is therein." Man. See, fam? So this is basically showing how we just started falling into captivity. So just remember that thought. Okay? Hold on that thought. Now, keep in mind that when we look at Shem, right? We're going back to Shem now. We look at Shem. Shem was basically, or his lot. Matter of fact, I hope you forgive me, family. I gotta get something to drink. Okay, just bear with me, please. My throat is killing me. Hold up. Give me a second. Thank you, fam. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. All right. Let's continue. All right. So we learned about Shem, a little bit about his territory, the mapping. You know what I mean? What Josephus said, from where to where, his rulership. Right. I'll show you guys real quick. Where are you? Right there. It says, remember, Josephus said it from the Euphrates all the way to the Indian Ocean, or Indian Sea, right? It talks about this area. So we see Arphaxad, we see Aram, Persia Gulf, the Ur of the Chaldees is right here. You see Joktan, okay? All these places here, right? So now, Let's go to Jude 5. Because remember, after Ham and Japheth, man, a lot of our people bugged out. Almost all of them. But the Most High picked Abraham. This is why in Jude 5 it says this. So here, if you guys haven't read this chapter, it's just Holofernes or Holofernes or Holofernes, whatever his name is. He's inquiring about. Then it was declared to Holofernes, right? He's inquiring about our people, who we are, what's going on, and right. So this guy's starting to talk about us, and it says here, Jude 5:6. These people are descended of the Chaldeans. Now we read that Arphaxad, and we read that Abraham, or you guys don't know, but Abraham came out of the Ur of the Chaldees. Yeah, we read that, right? These people are descended of the Chaldeans. But I thought we were Hebrews. Right? Walk with me. And they sojourned here in Mesopotamia. Meaning before they came to Mesopotamia, they were in the Chaldees. Because they would not follow the gods of their fathers. Wait a minute. But I thought the Most High was our God. Walk with me. Because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of the Chaldee. So in the land of the Chaldee, meaning in this area here, there's several religions. Like everything. And we know that a lot of religions were going about in this region here. Krishna, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, Brahmism, several philosophical, theoretical. You also have like Kemetic teachings, even I don't know about if they were called Kemetic now, but you know what I mean? Egyptian teachings, of course. And then you have like, what's that? The Thoth, the Emerald Tablets, like all of those esoteric religions. This was going on back then. Don't think that it wasn't, just like today. These people are descended of the Chaldees. Remember that. Then it says, verse 8, verse 7, and they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldee. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven, the God whom they knew. Well, now is the key here. You see, you be told that, oh, descendants, because we came out of the Ur of the Chaldees, because we lived in that region, but that doesn't mean that that's who we were. And it doesn't mean that all of a sudden God chose us. No, listen, the God whom they knew, because he chose Abraham. So they cast them out from the face of their gods. So this is the other people around that region kicking us out now, or Abraham, because they're like, man, get out of here. We don't want you here. You're not worshiping our God. And they fled, meaning Abraham and his family, into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, Joshua 24 says almost the same thing. Verse 1, and Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and called for the elders of Israel and for their heads and for their judges and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in the old times, meaning in the Ur of the Chaldees, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him through all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac. And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau. Okay? So here we see still the Ur of the Chaldees. Why am I emphasizing this? You're like, oh, Chaldees, man. Get off me. There's several things, fam. We served other gods. And we're of the Ur of the Chaldees. Okay? I'm going to show you this real quick. think it's the same one. What's a better map? Look. Aram, Babel, Nimrod, Chaldee, Arphaxad, India, Nerbuda, Dekanshaba, Joktan. This is Japheth, Ham, and Shem. This is from the world as peopled by the descendants of Noah, showing the countries possessed by Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth, and their posterity after the confusion of tongues. See? Asia Minor, Assyria. This is when the Persian captivity came about. Ashur, Elam, Black Sea. We have this region here. China Sea, sorry. So this is the Indian Ocean, family. So it's from the Euphrates to the Indian Ocean. But in the other page, it shows that it was coming all the way through here. Right? Let me see this. This is the Persian Empire. I want you to be mindful of this. Take a mental picture of this. Because keep in mind, family, if they were ruling, okay? If they were ruling the majority of this area here. So now we know that we had experience in this area here. But the idea is going to somewhere where never mankind dwelt. Just kind of, letting you know where we're going with this. Now let me show you this real quick. Where are you? Oh, no, don't freeze on me. Give me a second, fam. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to show you this, fam. It's the same map. I mean, it's a different map, right? The ancient trade routes from the cities of the Medes. I don't have the close-up on it yet. Oh, man, if I could. If you look at a map like this, you'll see that there's several synagogues, fam, all over this place. Several. Synagogue, 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 synagogues here. I think one's here, one's here. Synagogues up there. Obviously, synagogues over here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, let me show you this real quick. Talked about the Chaldeans, so let me kind of see if I could find this. I read this to you guys yesterday or the day before. Let's read it now. There's this writer who, Valera, I'll read it here at the bottom. Valera vehemently rejected the notion that the American Indians were the descendants of the lost tribe of Israel, a common theory in the 16th century, right? Watch this. In the few sections of the remains of Valera's work on this subject, he apparently speculated that the people of the Americas originated from the ancient Chaldeans. What? Yeah. Who once lived in the plain of Shinar in the Persian Gulf. The chronicler wrote that the religion of the natives, Greater Florida, and the Caribbean islands was derived from the practice of the Chaldeans, fam. who worshipped only natural features such as lakes, springs, and stars. Likewise, he claimed that the faith of the first Peruvians was molded on that of the Chaldeans. This is the guy, Blas Valera, right? 1594. The Chaldeans were renowned in the biblical history of the founding of the city of Ur, from whence came Abraham, the father of the Hebrew nation. They were believed to have descended directly from Noah. That's us. And they became famous as, I'm sorry, no, that's us, but talking about the Abraham religion or people. They became famous as learned astrologers, priests, and magicians. That's why they were known for Magi's as well. Yep, yeah, I don't know that, but let's continue. By linking the ancient Peruvians to the Chaldeans, Valera was placing the people of the New World into the framework of the biblical history. Valera considered the Chaldeans to be the ultimate ancestors of the people of Peru, Greater Florida, meaning all that was known of North America and the Caribbeans. It seems, however, that the view of the Mexican natives, whom he called the race of terrible and cruel men, as a very separate people. In his writings, he argued that the Mexicans had spread southward from Mexico and had peopled Central America and the tropical forests of South America. Right? Then it says he believed that the natives of lowlands of South America, whom he would have seen as young boy, were descendants from the Mexicans. These people, known in Quechua as Antis, were derived by him in the most unflattering terms, as was typical among the Inca elites. Let me see. So we know what he's saying. The point being, fam, is this guy hated us so much, yet his own hate put us right back to where we belong. Meaning where? Abraham's seed. Watch this. Here's what I was trying to read. Terms as typical among the elite. Then it says here, here goes. Similarly, Valera's description of the rights of the ancient Mexico emphasized the alleged cruelty and savagery of these people. The Mexican pyramid builders served an important function in the Arthur's polemics. The Mexican demotic nature, as Valera described it, further highlighted the Incas' own moral virtue and holiness. It was also a subject in which he departed sharply from Las Casas, who regarded the Mexicans as models of natural virtue. Unfortunately, not enough of Valera's writings remain to be determined whether he believed the Mexicans to have been close descendants of Noah, who had declined sharply, or an entirely distinct race from the ancient Peruvians. So again, this man here who says we're not the people of God, we're not the descendants of Noah, was literally putting us back where? Right there. Right there. That's why when it comes to Josephus, it says Shem, the third son of Noah, had 5 sons. This is Josephus, the works of Josephus, chapter 4, number 4. It says here, who inhabited the land and began of Euphrates and reached the Indian Ocean. Then it says, Arphaxad named the Arphaxadites, who are now called the Chaldeans. Look, of the 4 sons of Aram, Uz founded Trachonitis and Damascus. This country lies between Palestine and Syria. Then it says here, Salah was the son of Arphaxad, and his own son was Eber, from whom they originally called the Jews Hebrews. Eber begat Joktan and Peleg. He was called Peleg because he was born of the dispersion of the nations. Now I'm going to skip this. These inhabited from Kofin and Indian River, and in the parts of Asia adjoining to it. And this shall be suffice concerning the sons of Shem. And you guys can read this. I will not teach you Hebrews. You guys can read it. Fam, I'm telling you. So we talked about several religions, fam. Several religions were around this time, okay? That's why when you actually talk about that, we served other gods, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember, fam, there was like tons of people in this area. Tons of them. All right, so I'm going to show you this book. It's called The Anacalypsis, Volume 1 by Godfrey Higgins, page 85. Watch what he says about the Persians. It says here, page 85. It says the Persians also claim Ibrahim, an example, Abraham, for their founder, as well as the Jews. Thus, we see that according to all ancient history to the Persians, the Jews and the Arabians are descendant of Abraham. We know that. But Abraham was not merely the founder of the Persians, but various authors assert that he was a great magician at the head of the Magi. Now you probably wonder, like, those three kings, or those kings that came, not three, but those kings that came, they were the Magis, right? They were descendants of Abraham. Oh, guess what? King Cyrus, you know how they call him the anointed in the Bible? Because he was a descendant of Abraham. That's why he freed us. You guys need to do your homework. This book is called Anacalypsis, Volume 1, 1836. Let's go to page 87. Watch this real quick. That's going on. Page 87. It says here, Dr. Hyde, after allowing that the religion of the Persians was originally the same with that of Abraham, and that it fell into Sabaism, says he thinks that it was reformed by him. Let's see. The idea of this reformation, you actually can read this if you want. It's just, I mean, it's not important to read. Honestly, it's just, more information about particular, like Abraham and its relationship with Zoroastrians or Zoroastrianism, who the Jews so-called worship, things of that nature. Okay, just giving you some more food to some more information to chew on, fam. You know what I mean? Again, the Bible is what's important, but it's good to read these things because it just tries to connect the dots that are missing. Watch this, page 94. The religion of Abraham was that of the Persians, and whether he were a real or fictitious person, a matter of doubt. Both the religions must have been derived from the same source. If Abraham really did live, then the evidence both Jewish and Persian showed that he was the founder of both nations. Watch this real quick. It says here, the same, I'm going to read right here. The same Jehovah, the Lord who Jacob, Genesis, I believe, 28. Yep, chapter 21. Vowed should be his God if he brought him back to his father's house in peace. The same God worshipped by the other brother of Abraham, Nahor, in the land of Ur of the Chaldees. And it says here, and of whom it's written, my Lord said unto thy Lord, sit thee at my right hand till I make thine enemies footstool. Again, I'm just showing you, the Ur of the Chaldees is so repetitive, fam. So repetitive, right? It's too repetitive to not pay attention. This time we got. Okay, we're doing good. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to read you now. I'm going to read you this book now. And after this book, I'm going to basically continue this class tomorrow morning. Okay, if you guys catch it, great. If you don't, great. It's not my job. I can only bring you the food. You got to decide if you want to chew on it. And from my experience, unfortunately, a lot of y'all don't give a damn. But hey, this is not for everybody. This book is called The Great Migration. Okay? Great Migration. Right here. By J. Fitzgerald Lee. See this here? So we're going to talk about the movement, the migration that we took. I don't believe it went this route, family. I believe it went this route. Like this. It says they went to the Euphrates River. And the reason I share this, why I think it went this way, because I have another book called the description of the Indies, and it explains why it's believed that we went this route. Okay, and look at this, Mizraim, the land of the red man, North America, region of Ruhubu or Rahab. Now, these little things are rocks. I find that interesting because I got another book that talks something about that. And then you're gonna find out in maybe tomorrow, because I will do this tomorrow, fam. I honestly am tired. I could tell. I've been going every day on classes. Sometimes two of them a day. I typically don't do class on Sunday, and I've been busy today. Anyways, so you're gonna see something called kivara here. Okay, so let's go to page 54. I think 54. Let me see. I got the book here. Whew, chapter 99. Page 98, family. Oh, man, I'm getting tired. Whoa, wake up. Excuse me. Page 99. A lot of work involved, man. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to read a few pages and then, let's see. It's one chapter, fam. It's not a lot. Just want to make sure that we understand this process. This is our heritage. This is who we are, family. You should love knowing who you are. And you should love looking about who you are. You guys are being lazy, man. No salvation for you, family. Look at this. It talks about crossing over the sea, legend common to all the Semitic races, Etham, Bel-Zephon, traveling by night, clouds of the smoke, pillars of fire, horses, chariots, and the legends, the red man, the Ark of the Covenant. To me, fam, this right here, traveling by night, clouds of smoke, that's very important to me. Some of y'all that I've talked to, I shared something about this with y'all. Anyways, let's begin. We're going to read about maybe one, two, let's see, how many pages? We may read the whole chapter right now. Let's read the whole chapter and then we'll call it an evening, okay? And tomorrow morning, I will follow up and leave off here, or maybe I'll go halfway, depending on where we're at. Remember, family, this is The Great Migration, okay? By J. Fitzgerald Lee. All right, so now let's begin. It says, the account of the early movement in the Great Migration, which we extract from the legends of the Pentateuch, must have lived long in popular tradition, but we find them referred to as genuine and undoubted matters of common knowledge. In the middle of the first century of the Christian era, such traditions would naturally contain many vague and confused records wrapped up, perhaps intentionally, in obscurity. Okay? Then it says, but here and there, we suddenly meet some clear, brilliant flash, which, as the fitful lightning in a dark night, helps to direct us in our way. The sons of Israel, says the Hebrew text, are to go with dry feet across the sea. There is nothing to said about dry land. Jehovah made the sea a dry footing. The sons of Israel went across the sea on that which was dry. These and all similar expressions can only bear one reasonable meaning. The sea can be crossed dry shod. Then it says, page 100, only when it is covered with ice as part of the Baltic Sea and the White Sea, Hudson Bay, and the Sea of Okhotsk, they're still crossed during the certain months of the year by travelers and hunters. Okay? The words of the Hebrew legend could not have referred to the body of water on the tropics, which we now call the Red Sea, nor to it in the inlets as they have never been frozen over in any geological age or any time. The sea covered with ice, over the which the sons of Israel walked with dry feet, was none other than the Bering Sea and Strait, or Straits Tianain is what they misquote quote it, between America and Asia. Now, fam, I don't agree with this, but this is what their interpretation is, because they cannot wrap their minds that the Most High would open the waters for us. These waters were in the same place, through narrower and shallower, when a continent stretched across the greater part of what is now the bed of the Atlantic Ocean. And when its island continent, the legendary Atlantis, lay in the tropical Atlantic. Tradition about crossing over a sea were common to all the branches of Semitic trunk, Assyrians and Babylonians, Arabs and Phoenicians, as well as Hebrews. The Carthaginians kept a recollection of the events alive by sacred mysteries, which the Greeks borrowed and which are known by the name of Eleusinians. Again, we find in the sacred Quran these words. The Lord Moses said to his servant, I shall go on traveling until I reach the place where the two seas meet. Long shall be my journey, even 40 years. Like the wilderness, right? 40 years. And by the way, I'm going to do a class on that, regarding 40 years in the wilderness and how we represent that as well. Some of us that turned 40 were walking up at that age. That's another class. According to the Hebrew text, a broad desert and the wilderness had to be pressed through by the wandering people before as well as after the crossing over the sea. The word Etham means solitude, a wilderness. Now, there was no wilderness between the alleged starting points of the Israelites in Africa and Egypt and the arm of the Red Sea, now called the Gulf of Suez. In the many books and maps which profess to give it a correct connection of the journey, the Pentateuch is not here included. It is laid down that the Israelites started from somewhere in the vicinity of the city of the sun, Heliopolis, on the right bank of the Nile, turned eastward along the bank of the small tributary, in place of which is now occupied the freshwater canal, and kept on until they arrived at the inlet of the Red Sea, and on the western shores of which was a place called Migdal. Continue. Stay with me. 102. According to this account, they must have had plenty of water flowing quite close to them all the time. And fam, again, it goes back to what I shared with some of y'all. Though there was a small, barren plain far away from the south on their right. But this cannot possibly agree with what we are expressly told in the Hebrew legend. Namely, that they had already passed through a desert before they got to the sea. The true interpretation of the legend is that they started from one of the cities of the sun, either in Peru or in Mexico, and they crossed the dreary solitude of the northwestern corners of North America. And the wilderness Etham is what we now call Alaska. Okay? So I'm reading this because I want to share all of this with you. Anybody who has traveled from Egypt to Syria, anybody who will only take the trouble to consult a good map, will clearly see that the shortest, best route from the supposed land of Goshen to Palestine does not lead across the Gulf of Suez, even if this gulf had at that time extended as far north as the Bitter Lakes. Let us study the question with all due respect, but at the same time with common sense. Here we have a number of wandering people, men, women, and children, with their flocks and herbs. Fam, I talked about that. A massive amount of people hurrying to escape as quickly as possible from the pursuing enemy. They have set out with the intention of getting a land lying at a distance of 40 leagues away. Their guide and commander is a great leader in all history, ancient and modern. A man learned in all the wisdom of age, mighty in his words and his deeds. They have the fullest confidence in him and have entrusted to him their lives and their all. Man, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to continue, fam. I'm going to do it until I can handle it. Yet, and before they have committed the crimes which afterwards drew down punishment on them, these leaders began by leading them in every most possible way to reach their destination. This is one of the cases to which the weighty words of Pascal may be applied. The spirit of the man placing his own interpretation on the truth revealed by the Spirit of God. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, cool. We're still good. Let's see. Okay, we got another of these flashes of guiding light to which I have referred from the Hebrew name of one of the resting places or stages in the earlier part of the journey. The place is called Baal Zephon. There are maps to be found in certain books on Jewish history in which we find the same bodily but ignorantly located printed. What is the truth about it? Baal is a well-known geographical prefix to Hebrew names of places. It was originally the name of one of their gods, the Chaldean Bel. Chaldean again. And has exactly the same signification as the suffix nagar or na, the snake god. The feathery serpent. Or the prefix Allah in Indian names of places. So that many dismiss the part of Baal since it might have been applied to any place. But the word Zephon, it is a different matter. This word means in Hebrew and always has meant the region lying towards the northward. Therefore, when we are told that the Hebrews went to Baal Zephon, we are bound to believe that they went towards the northern regions. The words cannot be twisted or strained to mean anything but this. When they left their primitive homes in Central America, they journeyed northward. Now, this is a point of view. I'm going to get to my point, fam. Stick around. As they journeyed northward, they had on their left the whole way, they had great body of water, which are not called the North Pacific. This is why in their language, the same word was used for the idea of left an ocean, Ya'am, even as it is the present day. In the book called the Sayings and Traditions of East, there's a quotation from an ancient Arab writer, Taba'at Sharan, the author of the Pearls of Poetry, which says, the sons of Israel, before they crossed the sea, made a journey northward. They had the northern lights to guide them on the way they should go. The Semitic bard of this time agrees with the Hebrew legend. Northward, northern lights. Okay? What may surprise us at first sight is the fact of the wandering people traveling so much by night. But this fact also goes to support the truth of the legend. We frequently come across the word night where we should expect the word day. This is the night of all nights, the night of watching, the night of the Lord, the night of rejoicing, the night of mourning, and so forth. People traveled by night in ancient times for two reasons only: because it was too hot to travel by day, or because of their enemies. To keep hidden from these, or to surprise them with an unexpected attack by daylight. The climate of the Western America is never too hot to make a day traveling impossible and inconvenient. There was no enemy whom the wandering people wished to surprise by the sudden attack, and it would be useless to attempt to conceal a moving camp of thousands of people with their flocks and herds. Therefore, the above reasons do not fit in here. So we must conclude that the people traveled by night when the nights were many weeks long, as they are in the Arctic region, and they had to get over the ground by night or not at all. The pillars of fire were the northern lights referred to by the Arab poet, the bright pillars of the sky upholding the heavens. The clouds by day were the high snowy volcanic ranges. It will be noted that the pillars of fire are mentioned in the Hebrew legend only in connection with the part of the journey when the wandering people approached the place of crossing over the sea. The strange sight of the pillars of the clouds by day and of lights by night were naturally considered miraculous in a primitive people who had never seen such phenomena, meaning in Alaska. So it goes like to what I was telling y'all. What they're saying, what they read to, what was read before, what they're saying is this, fam. Oh, sorry, wrong map. Let me see if I can magnify. What they're saying is this, fam, that the northern lights went this way. The northern lights. The northern lights. Okay? Just like at the beginning of the book. The northern lights. Let's see. See? The northern lights. Boom. Where am I at? He goes right here. It will be noted that the pillars of fire are mentioned in the Hebrew legend only in connection with the part of the journey when wandering people approach the place of crossing over the sea. Let's see here. In describing the mountain ranges which border the coast of the Asiatic side of the Bering Strait, the geographer Strahlenberg employs the same language that we find in the Hebrew legend. There is a high mountain in a shape like a stack of corn, and some distant away, another like a table. They are both volcanoes, and they shoot out clouds of smoke in the daytime and very high jets of flame at night. A stray of mariners of the present day sailing towards the shores of the Barren Sea will be guided by these clouds and flames. As the wandering people were of the old, he will in the same way be grateful for this directing assistance and lift up his thoughts to their makers. It was in the cold region of the northeastern Asia that the migrating people suffered great tribulation. Here, some of them were swallowed up by earthquakes, giving rise to the legends connected with the rebellion of the Korah. Great convulsions of nature, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions have always been terrible in the stretch of the countries of Kamchatka, the Central Asia. The horse had left America for Asia sometime before the Great Migration. This is why we find no mention of horses in the Hebrew legend until we come to the account of crossing over the sea. When they had come into Asia, the wandering people saw the horses for the first time. Later on, they became acquainted with the chariots, so that the legends of horses and chariots occupied a very prominent place in the traditions connected with the crossing over the sea. We're almost done, fam. Hold on. Think so. Yeah, we're almost done. It says here, in much later times, when the shepherd people were expelled from Egypt, horses and chariots were tokens of nations greatest in wars. So they were introduced into earlier traditions, while at the same time, the fact of Hebrews having been derived of Egypt was something too unpleasant and derogatory to keep alive in the population tradition. Therefore, it was supposed. Let me see something real quick. Let me get to the point. Let's toss the red man here. See, there was no doubt this other red man also came, and they called red man the most Vedas. Watch this real quick. The legend tells us that a great mixture of other people went up with the Hebrews. As the great migration went on, the moving mass shed here and there, especially in Asia, tribes which settled in places which they found suitable and eventually became separate peoples, some of whom exist even to this day. There's no doubt that some of the red men also came, and they are called red men in the most ancient of the Vedas of India, where the great invasion from the north is mentioned. It says the red man lived by the spoils of this chase. He was a great hunter, powerful in his own land. When the sons of Israel requested permission to pass through his country, he refused in such a manner as to admit no doubt of his hostility towards Israel. Huh. Sounds like Esau. They did not attempt to fight him because they were not yet hardened enough to prove fighting a good fighting men. So the wandering people had no choice but to go on further. Huh. Israel turned and went the other way. Let me see this, fam. We're almost done. Shortly after they began they had begun their long journey. The Israelites, as the legend informed us, constructed a rare and precious variety of wood and carried them about with them, sort of a sacred chest. Called it in the Pentateuch the Ark of the Covenant. As far as the Hebrew laws and all that stuff. Let's see. Well, on the excellent authority of Adir, Long, and Noah, American historians and ethnologists, we are informed that the western tribes of North America Indians kept a holy chest or ark, which they were wont to carry to the battlefields when they had pressed by their enemies, when they were hard pressed by their enemies. Long says this ark was placed on a short sort of frame carried on men's shoulders and was not allowed to touch the ground. To uncover it was strictly forbidden. 3 men who, out of curiosity, attempted to examine it. Contents were struck blind on the spot. Damn. When the ancestors of the Mexicans began their great journey to the north, they took with them the ark of their god, Huitzilopochtli. At his command, they took it up when they began each day march to the land of happiness. Whenever a halt was made, a shelter or a hut was specially built for the ark, and the people camped round about his hut. The chair, the framework on which the ark carried, was called the throne of God. The men who were specially appointed to bear it on the shoulders were called priests of God. The Mexicans and Indians believed that their deity dwelt in the ark, and they therefore regarded it with feelings of awe and terror. There were some of the custom, though these were some of the customs of the nations around the Hebrews in their wandering, and their wise and tactful leader, a good judge of human nature, did not try to kill or abolish these customs, but boldly adopting them, turned them to higher and holier purposes. In the book of Genesis, chapter 7:16, we are told that the kings of Egypt made presents to Abram of sheep, oxen, and on horses are not mentioned. Okay. Anyhow, fam, listen, I'm gonna stop right here. Oh man, and I'm serious. I apologize. I'm actually tired. I'm actually really, really tired, fam. I am gonna continue tomorrow for sure. Early in the morning, fam. I'm an early bird, okay? So I will start for the sake of some of y'all in the East Coast. I'm gonna start at 4 or 5 in the morning, which will be like 5, 6, or 8. It'll be there, it'll be available. You don't have to watch it live, but I will follow through. This book is called The Great Migration. Okay. So again, this is what we're talking about. We're gonna explore the Great Migration. I just literally touched on it. I'm not even there yet, fam. Hold on. What's going on with this, man? Come on. Look at this. The Great Migration, family. The Great Migration. And look at this. It's considered Mizraim. They consider America Mizraim, meaning the house of bondage, family. It's pretty heavy stuff. Pretty heavy stuff. Here, I'm going to show you this in class again tomorrow, but I want to leave you guys with this, okay? Because I want you to know that we're not done yet. This is just the beginning. Valera wants to prove us wrong, and we're proving that he was wrong by proving that he was right. Kind of weird, right? Uh, Here's Shem. This is from, what book is it? Gene Matlock. I think when Jesus ruled Europe, I think, or America. Shem's descendant who founded or resettled in India, inhabited. Oh yeah, we read that from the Josephus. There it goes, Josephus 5:4. Okay, just keep that in mind, fam. That's not what I want to show you though. You see, hold up. I'm gonna leave you with this. Where are you? Where are you? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I'm gonna have to go up. Hold on a second, man. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Where are you? Oh, I know where it's at. My bad. My bad. My bad, family. My bad. Here it goes right here. How can I forget? Here it goes right here. Go up to the top. Watch this, family. This is from the description. The description of the Indy 1620. Okay, it's on page. What's number 55? It says here. Ezra says that at the close of this extended journey, they colonized and lived in that region, which is called Arsareth. That very learned Arthur Genebrad, in his book 1 of the chronology, states that Arsareth is the extreme point of Great Tartary, or Scythia. That it is a cape of promontory, which is the boundaries of landmarks dividing the old world with the new, above the Straits of Anain, which is basically like what they call the Barren Straits, right? And near which they crossed from that country to New Spain. Watch this. Let me minimize this. So they could have gone by that route, or by India and China, since there in that region of Cathay, the people inhabiting that country keep the Old Testament and the law of Moses through India and Asia, which is why I was showing y'all there were several synagogues back then. Those are ancient routes, fam. Although with many superstitions besides. Well, that's 10 tribes for you. You Hispanics, man, y'all are bugging out. This is a full and sufficient proof that the members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since it is clear that their observation of the law, and from there they could easily cross the strait or the channels which lies between China and the kingdom of Anain, as we may have seen in the globes or maps. And the kingdom of Anain, they went in exploring and colonizing these countries of the New World, never before seen or settled by human beings, right? Human frijoles. So here is the map, and this is what he's talking about. The Straits of Anain are right there. You see that? Straits of Anain? And then it says Arsareth. Bam, right there. Bam, bam, bam. Look at that. Straits of Anain. So that says that we came through here. And that we, as the Euphrates came through, we had to pass through this section here because these people here were keeping the laws of God. Not these people here. No. En contraire, mon frère. We went this way. Let me get straight here. So based on what we're finding, I'm not even there yet, fam. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to keep proving it. We came like this. We came like that. Why do you think our people look Arabic? Our people look like from India. And our people look like Asians. Now, you got an idiot. Yeah, I'm going to call you an idiot because you don't know history. That is like, well, we look Arabic because Arabic and Indian and China because of the Assyrian captivity. Dummy, the Assyrian captivity only covered this much here. Hello? This much here. They were not in Asia. That's how much you don't know. So shut up, kid. You may know the Bible, but you don't know history. So shut up. Okay? The Assyrian captivity was not over here in Asia. So just debunked you. IUIC? Jehu? You know I'm talking to you because you're the one that blasphemed the Holy Ghost. You literally just lied on the Bible. The Assyrian captivity was not all the way of the Persians. No, it was here. Just right here. Okay? So based on documentation, actual facts, not no fake ass story that we went through the sea, which you cannot track at all. Oh, we're showing you that Arsareth was always known to be here. And the streets of Anain are here. And I'm going to give you guys one more thing. Kivara, Provincia. Too much too much information to prove that we're not the people of the Bible. Listen, fam, I'm telling you, man, I don't know if y'all new to my channel. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to tell you right now, I am barely touching on my point. I mean, I'm barely in page. And I'm halfway, fam. I'm halfway. Then we're going to go into the scriptures again. We're going to go thoroughly into the second Esdras. We're going to break it down, and we're going to show maps. We're going to go back to pictures, and I'm going to prove to you guys why I believe through the Spirit that we belong, that we migrated this way, because there's constant proof, similarities in custom, traditions, and names. And one thing I cannot find, family, not because I'm trying to debunk anybody, I really do my homework. I haven't found one similarity of us and them here. Not one. Not one synagogue have I found. Not one synagogue in old maps, fam. Not one name. What One West has taught us is this imaginary line, but yet we got maps, documents, books, culture, phenotype that shows that we went this way. And again, I'm going to continue to show y'all. Tomorrow morning, y'all are welcome to join me. But again, it's going to be recorded too. And see, I find this very interesting because, like, you know how they say that unicorn to Ephraim? They have one right there, right? But then you look at all these, like, you know, like tents, man. They got all these tents. Look, all these tents, all these huts, right? Look at this. Look at that. Man, can't make this stuff up, fam. Don't freeze on me. Can't make this stuff up, fam. Alrighty then. So anyhow, what I'm gonna do at this point, fam, let me see if I can show you this real quick. Hold on. Oh, let's see. The Mayans and the Aztecs, that's us, bro. Oh God, here we go. So here we go, fam. You see what I mean? They want your heritage. Watch this. I'm gonna end it with I'm gonna show you this, and I'm gonna end it with something else. Nobody know where the fuck they went. Don't nobody know where they went. We the Aztecs. We the Mayans. We had pyramids over here called mounds. We got pyramids in Egypt, bro. Wow. Hey, beautiful, bro. Appreciate you for sending me that. That was great, man. That was great, man. I love it. I think it's great. All right, fam. Other than that, I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it now. Well, shoot, nobody was here. Damn, nobody watching. Okay, cool, man. Even better, family. I love it when I'm alone. I get to focus. Anyhow, hope it was educational, family. I'm not done, but any other than that, man. I hope shalom. Hope it was at least somewhat significant. And yeah, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here, I got something for you. Hold on a second. Okay, so we left off here. Let me highlight this real quick. Highlight that because we're gonna touch on it tomorrow. And I'm not gonna do Matthew 6 today, fam, because it's history. But I'm gonna finish it with this video here. Give me a second. Where are you? This is exactly what you guys need to know. Okay. Let me see. Give me a second. Here it goes. Shalom, fam.
One of the reasons that of us think of Native Americans, and we think one of the reasons that most of us don't think of Native Americans and we think of American slavery is that the enslavement of Native Americans was first, but are there other reasons?
Well, I've thought about it some. I don't know that I have a definitive answer, but I believe that one of the interesting things that happens with Native American people, especially in the 20th century, is that they are, by and large, forgotten about whenever the military battles are over. That is, the popular movies that have taken place and so on are almost always to do with the armed resistance of Native people to conquest, right? But you probably can't even think of a single movie where whatever happens to these Indian people after the battle is ever told about, right? So they might have a couple of guys shaking hands and saying, oh, sorry about the warfare, you know, it was due to a misunderstanding, you know, now we're going to live at peace together, chief, you know, and everything's going to be great. But you never see what happens after that. I think partly because it's very difficult for the white newcomers to North America particularly to face up to the fact that this isn't just a little romantic set of interludes between knights that are jousting with each other. This is a materialistic and economic war, not only a war for land, but a war for resources and a war for labor. And in many, many areas, Native Americans were reduced to poverty and forced to become workers and laborers on white people's ranches and so on, in addition to, in the earlier period, being enslaved. So that I think that the white population just wants to bury what they've done to the Native people. They don't want to really know what they did and what they're still doing in some areas. I think that's one of the main factors. I think another factor, however, has to do with the overwhelming presence in later periods of time, particularly in the East Coast and the southern United States, of people of African descent.
En la Plaza de Reyes, Black 50, Soplón. Yeah. ¿Qué vas a saber? ¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltóme. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flojo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Elevé mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tablet? Juro por mis abuelos que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chinchado neto, búscame por pico sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi pro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle taco pro. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjeme decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el Black Sheep, Black Sea Metal de Plaza de Kings. Motherfucker, Soplón.
Nero Luigi, man, desempeño en la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, Money Gang Gang, yeah, yeah, Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto.
Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como luzco. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto, pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Ja, ja. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. Está súper refina la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un style. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal. Yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás. Yeah. La calle limeña aquí nadie la dueña, ya nada es igual. Yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Tiene que respetar. Yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás. Yeah. La calle limeña aquí nada le duele, ya nada es igual. Yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Si yo soy tu papá, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cinco mob, negro. Yeah. Cinco mob, nigga. Yeah. Nero Luigi, man. Incas mob, yeah. It's money gang, 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 yeah.
Ey, yao. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman pa' que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el mes. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3. Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en CD brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré el ola que los expande. Aunque esto me pique en la madera, no sirven ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero tras la barrera y llego con la novedad. Niña, tú solo espera que ya encontré la manera. He visto bastante por querer lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso al depósito, yo soy de púlpito pa' que el mundo conociéramos. De esta parte mejor intérprete que ha parido esta cordillera. Sin luz afuera, que el espectáculo es dentro. La calle es mi templo, tiembla el pavimento. Cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas. La calle un poema, se siente desde cuando entro. Y a toditos estos drogaditos que creen que rapean, los regreso al centro de mi balcón. Yo he visto el clon de clon en la misma gestión, pero a la malla no llega el balón. Y para esta pantalla no soy el patrón. Yo ya me sé la cuestión y doy fe por cada renglón. Consciente de la operación del final de Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Yango en la maldita casa, Plaza de Rey y papá.